I have to make a retraction here. Not a big retraction or an important retraction or anything that anybody's going to be able to sue me over. But in the end of yesterday's video, I said that all the clear plastic parts were done now. That wasn't true. I'd forgotten about the signal lamp. Now all the clear plastic parts are done. And as I've said before, a Canadian dime is the same size as an American dime. Now, mind you, it's not worth as much, but it's the same size. You're going to notice that there's a slight difference in my specialty tool here that I made. And what's different about it is the cutting part of it is a little bit narrower than it was before. The reason being is it'll probably fit into tighter spots a lot better than when it was a little bit too wide. Don't know if you remember, about 2 or 3 episodes back I was having trouble getting it to fit. Well, that same part now wouldn't give us any problem with it the way it is. Anyway, let's get our number 12s cut off. Each one of these sprues has 2 number 12s, and there's 4 sprues. And we only need 7 pieces. Oh, and by the way, Billy, if you're watching, I'm using your plexiglass idea. I don't want to accidentally cut this part here. I'm using my left hand. That's okay. I think I got it. Let's see if I can lift this off of the sticky part of the plastic now. There we go. Yeah. Now do this one the same way, and the other 6 the same way. These 2 represent number 7 and number 8, but I think I'm going to leave one of them stuck on the sheet here. I think it'll be a lot safer left here, even though I've already snipped it here and here. I guess the smart thing would have been to do is this searchlight that we're making right here. I should have gone online and researched it a little bit. But this thing in reality was probably huge. And I was wondering, could these pieces here possibly represent a louver system? And maybe, yes, the light could shine out one way as a searchlight, or maybe it could go out the other way as a really powerful a signal lamp, you know. That's possible. But just for the fun of it, I thought, I'm going to measure this. Now, I haven't done this yet. So we'll do it in thousandths of an inch here. I'll just take the largest diameter. Okay, so that's 360 thousandths. Okay, so 360 thousandths times 200. Okay, that thing is 72 inches across. I mean, that's 6 feet. You know, that's a huge light. I've just spent the last half hour online looking for the Bismarck searchlights. And I found a lot of photos that, they're kind of fuzzy, but it gives you an idea of the size. But the one that I found the most interesting is the very last one. That one sort of indicates that the round section, the round piece that we're going to be gluing on, is not a lens. It's just the back of the light. Now that's interesting. In other words, the light does sort of come out of that grated area. In other words, the photo-etch piece is actually the front. Now that's really interesting. I guess that rounded part, maybe it was sort of concaved on the inside and maybe acted as a reflector or something. I have no idea. It could well be that one of the viewers actually knows for sure. And if you do know for sure, that is, let us know. Well, I'm sure that you figured out by now, even without me having said it probably 20 times, I make these videos as I go along. And I'll say things that aren't necessarily true. And yeah, like this little piece right here. Let's see if I can pick it up here. Now, you see, it's rounded on the back. I thought that was supposed to be where the light came out. Well, as it turns out, that's the back of the light. It was painted over. Yeah, I'll shoot a little bit, then I'll go back to the computer and I'll edit it. And I was checking the comments from yesterday's video, and one of the viewers says, "Why don't you just paint it all over gray?" Well, before I read that comment, that's what I was thinking. Why not? Like even this piece here, that was undoubtedly a louver system to protect the front of the light when it wasn't being used. In case somebody took a shot at it. Who knows? Those louvers, they could have been half-inch plate or even thicker. Who knows? Anyway, let's just carry on, and I'm probably just going to glue it together and paint over all that clear plastic. Every once in a while somebody will ask me about the camera or the lens I'm using, and so it lets me know that probably some of the viewers are camera buffs as well. And what I've got on right now is what I call my normal lens. It goes from 24 millimeter wide angle to 120 millimeter telephoto. And this is what they call a full frame camera. So 24 millimeter is it's getting up there, it's about 70 degrees wide, I guess. Anyway, yeah. I'll move it into 120. Okay, now we're at 120. Now what I'm thinking of doing here is holding this piece in my tweezers. And the reason being is so that when I try to apply the glue and put this little piece on it, it's not going to be moving around. So this should not be rocket science. Something like that should work just fine. And if you're one of those camera buffs, I just know for sure you want to know which lens is it. Well, it's this one right here. I've had it for about 2 years now, and I'm very happy with it. Now, before I get too exuberant here, let's do a dry run. Make sure it's going to fit okay. Yeah. And it shouldn't take very much. Just a little bit. I don't need to worry about scratching the lens. We're not going to be taking pictures through it anyway. Okay. I want to glue this piece on next. It goes on the other side. And you will notice here on the front there's a little hole. It's this hole right here. And these little pins go into the holes. And so what I want to do is make sure that I keep that in mind when I'm laying this piece of photo etch down, so that I have the lines sort of horizontal, or are lined up at the same angle as these pins. Otherwise, when I fit this piece onto this piece, it's going to look crooked. Okay, I guess I should have had a photo etch piece handy here. Okay, these three major lines here are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not worried about the little ones. It's the bigger ones. I want them horizontal. Okay, you can see the way it's going to run here. There's a hole in the front and a hole in the back. I'm looking straight down on it so I can maybe see it a little better than you can. Okay, I think that's about right. I want this center one in line with this hole on this side and also on this side, and it looks when looking at it right from the top, it looks pretty good to me. Just let me check the monitor. Yeah, it looks about right. I don't want to accidentally fill in this thing. Yet I want enough on there that it's going to dissolve the plastic. I might be putting on too much. Probably 3 or 4 minutes has passed now. Well, it's going to have to do L39, L53, and L40. Now you notice how on the bottom of L53 here, it's keyed. So it has to go on a certain way. Now, I'm not sure why, because I'm pretty sure that when I place the light on the deck somewhere, it can be twisted one way or the other on this base here. Now what I'm going to try to do is turn this piece over without pinging it across the room. Okay, there. I got it. I could tell by the feel of it when I was twisting it, it sort of locked into place there. Yeah. Now if I take a little screwdriver here and I turn it either this way or this way, it doesn't seem to make any difference. It looks the same. See on the front here? And of course this is supposed to go in. So I guess it doesn't matter which way it goes in. It's going to look the same either way. Now I was about to put a little bit of glue on there, and then I remembered one of my own rules, and that is always do a dry run. Oh yeah, it's going to fit, I think. Yeah, it should be okay. Now we'll put a little bit of solvent on there. Don't need very much. Sometimes you can feel it better with your finger than with the tweezers. Make sure it's seated properly. I think that's okay. No, it looks a little bit crooked. Let's just twist it over here. There. That's better. Okay. Here we go with piece L54. And this little hole right here has to be flipped over and fastened right on there. So let's do a dry run. Make sure it's going to fit. Maybe if I hold it down with my fingers here. It's kind of hard to tell at this angle. Maybe I should be doing it upside down. Hey, that's not a bad idea. What would happen if I turned everything upside down? Do it like this. Okay, and then instead of putting that into that, we'll put this into this. Yeah. I know this looks very awkward. But sure, I can do it like that. There, and I would assume that as long as the base here is horizontal, it should be at the right angle. It seems to be slumping over a little bit here. Otherwise the light isn't going to be straight. Oh, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Well, let's let that evaporate, and then we'll install the light. But we're going to do that tomorrow. You knew that was coming. Yeah, thanks for watching. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.